Hey you guys, welcome back to the horror with your host Jenna. You guys know who I am by now. So today I'm gonna be doing another review on a movie, a non-horror movie. Um, you know, uh, I figured I'd do a Christmas movie, a legit Christmas movie. Not like Black Christmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night. I feel like those are legit. Well, I almost said legit horror movies. Of course, they're legit horror movies. Of course, they're at least among us horror fans are legit Christmas movies. But for non-horror fans, they're like, no, those aren't Christmas movies. But today I figured I'd talk about one of my personal favorites, one that I love. I mean, you know, I do like a few Christmas movies, but I'm very like selective on them. Um, but today I figured I would talk about the 1988 classic comedy Scrooged, starring Bill Murray, and like a slew of other people. This is a terrific little cast. Lots and lots of people who've been in like tons of different things. I feel like there's at least a couple of actors in here who I feel like people would definitely be like, oh wait, hang on, that's so and so from this movie or from this or whatever. But some of the other casting, um, some of the other actors that are in here besides Bill Murray is Karen Allen, who actually was in. A lot of people are going to know her from The Sandlot, very popular movie from '93 ish, '93 I believe. Um, John Glover, who has been in a ton of stuff as well. Like I know he was in Gremlins 2. He did an episode of Tales from the Crypt. Oh God, I'm blanking on the episode that he was in, but he played like the mortician or whatever, or like the a bomber or whatever. That was one of my favorite episodes of that show, by the way. But let's see, who else do we have? Bobcat Goldthwait. Sorry, I always have a hard time with his last name for some reason. Who's been in a ton of stuff, Police Academy, tons and tons of stuff. David Johansen, aka Buster Poindexter, also was the lead singer of New York Dolls, uh, like glam rock band from the '70s. He's been in quite a few things too. Like I know he did a segment of Tales from the Dark Side movie. That segment that he was in that movie just huge impact on my life. Probably a big reason why I don't get cats. I'm not a big cat person. Just seeing that cat come out of like his mouth after being like in his stomach, just uh, Carol Kane from quite a few things. She actually also actually did Twilight Zone, or not Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt episode. The episode Jenny, You're Not Yourself Today. Fun little episode. Also from When a Stranger Calls. Once again, tons and tons of stuff. Robert Mitchum, who's been in a lot of stuff as well. Michael Pollard, who much older actor, has been in like tons and tons of older stuff. And also was in Sleepaway Camp 3, which I always find hilarious. He was perfect for that role. Not my favorite entry in that series, Sleepaway Camp 3, but I do adore his character. He plays that character perfectly. And then Alfre Woodard, who also has been in like everything under the sun, I feel. She was in Crooklyn, just tons and tons of stuff. Like I said, phenomenal little cast that this movie has. So for those of you who don't know what this movie is about, it's basically kind of like a reimagining of Charles Dickens's classic story, A Christmas Carol, which I know we have so many different versions of this movie. Just so many. Like, even the Muppets have their own little version of A Christmas Carol. There's so many different ones. I know everyone has their own kind of like favorite rendition of this story. And I respect that. This is like one of those stories where it's like you could find a film version of this story and just love it. So if this is not your favorite version of this movie, like I get it. Whatever version you like, awesome, awesome. Um, so like I said, it's kind of like a reimagining. It's a much more like modern twist to it. Although even though it's like almost 30 years later, I still feel like it's a very modern telling of this. It's not like it's set in like the 18th century or whatever the story, or 19th century. I should more 19th or like early 20th century. So very modern. I feel like maybe that's why I like it so much, because it's much more like relatable, like time sense for me. But yeah, fun movie. And I like the humor in it. Obviously, with Bill Murray, you're always gonna get his crazy humor and everything. He's, one of the funny men of Hollywood. One of the original SNL casts. Right? Yeah, he was, or at least like early part SNL when it first aired. Um, so basically, you know, Bill Murray plays this like TV exec, this president or whatever of a TV station, IBC, and his station, his company is getting ready to do a live version of A Christmas Carol, and very greedy. He's like the youngest like president of like any TV station or whatever. Like obviously this is fictional, but um, youngest president, like I said, of any TV company and stuff, and very like ego and everything, very like in it for himself, but very driven with his job and everything. But I guess if I was the youngest TV president too, I'd probably be very selfish and egotistical and everything, and not really caring much about other people. But whatevs, whatevs. Um, uh, so it has like the typical, you're gonna be visited by three ghosts and everything. And I love the ghosts in this movie. Um, like David Johansen plays the ghost of Christmas Past. He's the taxi driver, which I love that. Like I love that the each ghost kind of has their own characteristics and everything, their own little thing or whatever. So it's not just like, oh hey, here's a ghost and boom, we're just gonna like dissolve into a different time or anything. It kind of uh, does his own little thing and everything. So yeah, so David Johansen, like I said, is Ghost of Christmas Past. Carol Kane is the Ghost of Christmas Present, and I love that she's this very kind of like pretty, like sort of fairy and everything. Like I remember being a kid watching this and being like, I want to be a fairy like her, and I love her wings, and she's got the nice pink dress and everything. Like I love her character, and very glittery and everything, but not like gold dust glittery or anything. WWE reference for you guys. And then obviously the Ghost of Future, Christmas Future. I like that they kept in tradition with like the Grim Reaper look and everything. I love that Ghost of Christmas Future look in this movie. He's got like he doesn't have like an actual face, but it's like a TV screen, and throughout his segment, like it kind of flashes um, sort of like an evil, almost like a Guar face, the band Guar almost, and then like slowly sort of like infuses Bill Murray's face with it, so it's kind of like his face, almost like morphing a little bit into like that skeletal face, and like when Bill Murray opens up the robe, it's like just the rib cage with like I guess like souls, maybe like souls of like past people that he's shown their future and stuff. Um, and I like this. This just the story in general. I like. Like I know. It's a Wonderful Life. Like I know. I feel like is takes a little bit from A Christmas Carol, where it's like, what would life really be like without you and stuff. Um, and I like this. I like the story of A Christmas Carol, because it's like, you kind of see like whoever, like the Scrooge, like the Ebenezer Scrooge type character is, like kind of like their upbringing, like, okay, maybe, why would is this person like this, to the present, just like seeing how, they affect the people in their lives, their current lives and everything. And then in the future, just seeing like, those small actions, or like, uh, uh, you know, something you may have said to someone, how that then affects them like years down the line. Like, Karen Allen's character, who we find out like used to date Bill Murray's character like 20 years before. They were like, really in love and everything, and then they just kind of grew apart. Their lives kind of went separate ways and everything, and he, had said something to her, after he got back from, David Johansenberg's, stop, rewind, and play. After he got back from, The Ghost of Christmas Past, David Johansen's character, he runs into Karen Allen. Like, she comes to see him at the studio because, she got a call from him or whatever, and he left a message, and she was just like, what's going on? Like, you sound frantic, blah, blah, blah. And, he had said something, or no, I think it was after, maybe after Carol Kane's, visit, because I think he was actually in the, yes, because he was actually at, like, the shelter, the homeless shelter, and, he's trying to get her to, like, go have lunch with him or something, and she's like, oh, I can't, there's so much to do, blah, 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 I gotta, stuff isn't here yet. And, he had said something like, just, scrape them off, Claire, scrape them off, like, no one cares about this, like, just take care of yourself. Not realizing, like, what that could have, like, done, how that could have impacted her. And then when he's with the, like, God, can I talk today? Like, really? Can I talk? After, or when he's with the ghost of Christmas Future, he, the ghost, shows him, like, her, like, years down the line, is, like, much older and everything, almost like a grandmother age. And, she's become, like, a very cold person. Like, she's having lunch or something, she's, like, in a restaurant or something with, like, one of her girlfriends, and there's a couple of kids, like, standing at the window, just looking like they're hungry, just sad eyes and everything, and she's just like, ah, get rid of them, Like, what, like, yeah, this is why I don't like him. Like, you know what? Someone gave me good advice years ago, saying, what, just scrape them off. Just scrape them off. So it's like, he kind of then realizes, like, wow, like, the girl I love, I totally turned her into me. I made her into a cold person and everything. And just kind of, like, really realizing, like, how much people really care about him, even though he's very, like, in his own little world, and, doesn't, um, make the effort to, like, have the right relationships. Like, he's very focused on, Bill Murray's character is very focused on, kind of like being like the best president, and just, trying to line his pockets with money and stuff, very greedy and everything. So it's good to, like, see, like, I like this rendition of this story, because, I think it's done so well, where it's like, you see him kind of, like, his whole life and everything, and, like, his past, his present, his future and everything, and what could be his future. And he kind of realizes, like, wow, like, do I really want to leave behind this legacy of being such a hard ass? Like, yeah, I may have had, like, a kind of a sucky relationship with my dad, or, had a tough upbringing, and, like, not many friends at the present moment, but do I really want to, like, have the, possible future that's been presented to me, and, once again, like I said, leave that sort of legacy behind, and, like, do I really want to impact people in a negative way. So, no, I like it. I like it. Although I don't think I've ever really seen a version of A Christmas Carol that I didn't really like, that wasn't really done, uh, really too poorly. But like I said, I like this version. I think maybe just because I kind of grew up with this version. Because I mean, this came out like 4 years after I was born, so it's like, around like 5 or 6 when it started airing on TV and stuff around the holidays. Like it was always on, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, and something I would love, like in this, may have there may be a movie out there kind of floating around. But I would love to see this as more of like a horror movie because I feel like it definitely is a perfect setup for like a horror movie. Like I said, I'm sure there's probably a couple out there that are like kind of based on A Christmas Carol for a horror movie. I may just not have heard of them or come across them, but I'd like to see that. I would. I would. Um, just saying, like I know the TV show Roseanne, one of their Halloween episodes kind of did that. It was like, you know, Roseanne is visited by like three ghosts of Halloween or whatever. Like ghosts of Halloween past, Halloween present, and Halloween future and stuff. Um, I mean, so that was a fun episode, but like I said, I would love to see a can I talk again? Like seriously? But yeah, no, I would love to see like a horror rendition of this movie. That's just me. If you guys know of any like horror renditions of this movie, let me know because I would love to check them out. So what else? What else? Um, but yeah, you know, um, but yeah, this movie is so much fun, and like I even love the end. Like I know the ending's kind of cheesy, where he gets back from visiting the ghost of Christmas future, visiting him and everything. Um, and they kind of stop the show. He kind of halts the show, and he's goofing off and stuff. And then they all start singing and stuff. Like I know that's so cheesy, but I love it. I do. I feel like it was almost appropriate that it ended that way, and a good little message. Put a little love in your heart. I love that song, by the way. I do. Performed by Annie Lennox. Love Annie Lennox from the Eurythmics. Um, but yeah, just very, good movie. And it's very like warm, hearted movie. I feel like it turns out into a very warm-hearted movie and everything. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that's my little take. That's my little take on Scrooge. I do highly recommend this. And let me guys, you guys let me know like what your like favorite version of A Christmas Carol is. I'd love to know that too. What your favorite versions are. If you might not like this one as much, or if there's another one that you are really into. Let me know. Let me know. Like I said, there's tons and tons of different versions and reimaginings of A Christmas Carol. So let me know what yours is, what your favorite is, or least favorite might be. But till next time, you guys, who knows what I'll bring to you next. But till then, you guys stay classy and creepy. And just so you guys know, this weekend, please be safe on the roads. If you're traveling or anything, be safe out there. All the guys are in my thoughts and everything. Hoping that you guys have a good weekend, nice holidays and everything. So, but until next time, guys, you guys stay creepy and classy as always.